Hello, my name is Chris, and I am the Ana Manga Nerd, and I am here to have a conversation with you, nerds, about Chapter 1046 from One Piece. Now, there's two things I need to make known first and foremost before we get discussing the pivotal character of the story, Raizo. That's right, before we get into that discussion, let me clarify some things. First and foremost, if you are currently watching this and you only watch the One Piece anime, because of how far behind you are and everything, I must give you a spoiler warning. So if you're an anime-only viewer, please turn off the volume and just listen, I guess. I don't know. Probably not a good sign. But subscribe and check back here in a couple of years once you guys catch up to this. Now, if you are a manga reader and you're caught up, congratulations. Continue proceeding on to go. Next thing I need to address is very simple. It's a little bit of housekeeping. And that's, I want to keep this house. And that house is this, the Ana Manga Nerd channel. To help me keep the Ana Manga Nerd channel going, thriving, striving, and moving forward, I need your help. And how can you help? By liking the video, commenting wherever you can, whenever you want, and subscribing to the channel. That's right, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and it'll keep you up to date whenever I release new content, and I hope you do enjoy that. If you are someone that would like to expand your nerddom geekiness into other realms, I don't just do this channel, but I also do another YouTube channel called Raizo Nerds. Please feel free to check that out, where we talk some anime, but it's more geared towards popular TV, movies, nerddom, and geekdom. Alright, now that we've got that all out of the way and all settled, let's move on to Chapter 1046 and some of the awesomeness that came from this. Now, it seems like ever since Luffy's Gear 5 and his whole awakening in the renaming of his devil fruit and all of this stuff outside of the story, in the community itself, in the fan community, has caused some issues. There's been some growing pains, there's been some concerns, there's been some frustrations. Now, I can't alleviate all of those, or any of those, but I will say this. This chapter seems to have more people disgruntled for the fact that it's named Raizo, and a big, not the entire, but a big focus of this chapter is the big-headed ninjutsu man, a part of the Samurai Alliance, even though he technically isn't a samurai, he's a ninja, or a shinobi, however you want to say it. Raizo is the titular character of this chapter. The chapter is named after him. And I've seen some people be very poo-poo about the fact that this chapter is called Raizo. So we'll address the elephant in the room here in a second. But before we do that, I do want to harken back to something that I read on Reddit. Now, I didn't screen capture this Reddit comment to give appropriate credit to it, and I think they were also giving kind of third-hand information, so they were passing along something else that they might have read from another theorist or someone else out there that's starting to connect some dots. But the fact that this chapter and the preceding two chapters seem to mimic chapters 784, 785, and 786 from the Dressrosa arc. What happened in that is 784 introduced and gave us the first glimpse of Gear 4. 785 was the use and exhibition of Gear 4. And then 786 was Gear 4 powering down and was titled Gats. And it allowed Gats to kind of get some shine or spotlight focused on him. And it seemed very curious as to, in the middle of this battle of Doflamingo and Luffy, the fact that we cut away from both of that and we named the title after Gats. Well, Gats tends to do something that, while not the highest of magnitudes, he allowed time for one thing to occur. He gave time for Sabo to arrive. He gave time for Luffy to gain a little bit of breathing room. He allowed time for Law to come in and assist. And overall just bought time for Luffy to get back into this fight. Fast forward to now, 1044, 1045, and 1046, we have the introduction of Gear 5. We have the exhibition of Gear 5. And now we've kind of got a third chapter following that, which kind of cuts away from the whole action of the fight itself and goes to this other character. Now, where I think this differs than Gats, while I think Gats did a very honorable and noble thing, the payoff to Raizo is literally 7 years in the making. That's right. In Chapter 816, February 15th, 2016, We were told Raizo is okay. He's still alive. That is the culmination of hearing what happened the 10 days prior to Luffy and his half of the crew showing up onto Zou. We see that they went through all of this misery leading up to chapter 816, where they were gassed, they were beaten, they were tortured, they were disfigured, they were cut apart, and they held on to this notion that Raizo wasn't there, Raizo wasn't there, Raizo wasn't there. And the thing, and I don't know if this bothered anyone else, but the thing that got me is after the emotional moment of them announcing that Raizo is okay and he's here on Zou, and you see everyone go through this wave of emotion and showing the loyalty of the minks themselves to the Kozuki clan. Like that was fine. Like that was great. It was emotional. It was a good moment. It was very impactful and powerful. But there always was this one thing digging at me of, why did we give Raizo this moment? What's the true payoff? What has Raizo done? And then as things progressed on, it kind of seemed like Raizo was, if you ranked the characters, if you ranked Oden's samurai retainers, you would kind of put Raizo at the bottom. I mean, even Denjiro, who knows where he's at right now. I think that's the meme in of itself, is that Denjiro has just like left the island and is just doing his own thing somewhere else in the world. But even with all of that, what has Raizo done that makes him worthy? Cat Viper, Dogstorm, they've put their limbs on the line to protect him. They held themselves as much together as they possibly could while Oden was boiling in the pot of oil. But Raizo was the one complaining, right? Raizo was the one complaining about the heat. And so it started to get to a point where there was always this lingering, and it kind of died off because I kind of forgot about it as we moved more into Wano proper. But when Raizo was now having his standoff with long-eared dude, I forget what his name is, of Orochi's clique, there was still this moment of, but why Raizo? Like, what is the significance of Raizo? What's the importance? And now, in chapter 1046, again, I said 7 years earlier, I can't count. Over 6 years later, we finally get a payoff to this moment. And that is, Raizo survived so that way he could save everyone still alive in the raid. Had Raizo not survived, or had the minks given up hope on trying to hide Raizo, and Raizo was captured by Jack and ultimately executed or imprisoned, we would never get this moment. Raizo was kept alive. Raizo had to live long enough for this to finally have a payoff to his story. I am now happy with the fact that we went through so much hell 6 years ago just to see Raizo survive, for him to finally do the thing that he survived for this time. At this point in time now, Raizo can die. And not saying that he's going to. It seems like he's going to live. If Kin lives and if Kiku lives, Raizo has to live. Raizo's now reached a point where we have come full circle with his story. He saved the minks by using the water of Zou. So we get that payoff. We get the payoff of him panicking during Oden's execution about complaining about the heat by him suffering through the flames to defeat Orochi's top shinobi, his advisor, long-eared guy. So I am satisfied with that, right? This chapter allows us to get some satisfaction. It allows us to once again see something good come from why these vessels, why these retainers of Oden had to survive. Each one of them are slowly filling in the slot of why they needed to survive to make all of this work. I guess except for him, but even including, right? Even including that traitor Kanjuro. He's kind of paid off in a certain way thanks to his fire demon burning through. He's put Orochi through hell. I don't think Orochi's dead. Now, moving forward after 1046, I could deal with not seeing Raizo in any prominent number of panels again until the end of this battle between Luffy and Kaido. But we'll see. You know, there's always a chance he pops back up. But I think his story is now done what the whole purpose of keeping him alive for these last 6 years in the story have been, and that's for him to put out the fire and essentially save those that had joined the raid. Again, I think there's going to be some people that aren't excited or happy with this, and I think that is perfectly reasonable. in a very unreasonable world that is the internet. But what do you think? Did you enjoy chapter 1046? I know I only fixated and focused on Raizo, but I mean, he's the title of the chapter, so why not focus on Raizo? Everyone else is doing the stuff talking about Gear 5 and Luffy grabbing lightning, and that's all cool, but let me pay off the title of the chapter's character, Raizo. Raizo for MVP. Alright, well, again, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. But yeah, no, if you like this video, please share it with your friends and have more people come join in. And I would love to hear from you all if you have any other additional thoughts on this chapter or where One Piece is going or where you would like to see One Piece is going. At some point, I would like to make a video about what I would like to see or what I feel like Momo has to do. Momonosuke has to do a certain thing before this whole raid ends, and I would like to see it. Maybe I'll make a video discussing that. All right. And hey, if you have an idea of what it is I'm thinking of, feel free to put it in the comments. All right. This has been Chris, and I've been the Manga Nerd. See you next time. Bye.